Sounds like an awful lot to live up to. It's just me. It's just me. And I am a small business owner myself as well. While I am an LA girl, totally, I've been in Arkansas a long time, but I am a small business owner. I have a chicken farm. You would not believe that. And no, I don't farm the chickens myself. I have someone else do that. I cash the checks and mess with all of that. But I do, yeah. Does not sound like much fun to me, but I do definitely run it like a small business, and there's definitely a lot to that that's about small business and making those decisions as well. And you learn an awful lot through that. Just like corporate business and small business, there's a lot of similarities between those two things. As Susan said, I do feel very, very passionate about small business and how Sam's Club interacts with that. I've been with the company a long time. And so I can very much appreciate being small business, because I was with Walmart when we were still small business, and I would call places and they're, you know, I'm Julie with Walmart, and they're, who? You mean Kmart? No. No, that's not who we are, and we're in Bentonville, America. Woohoo! They didn't get that. So I definitely can appreciate that and the struggles that it takes to be a smaller business and figuring out your budget and all those kinds of things. So don't think because we're big business that we don't run our business just like a small business, because we have those same things as well. But inside our company, and I think especially inside Sam's Club, and my division specifically, we work really hard to make sure that we don't, you know, you've heard the reputation, right? Walmart, Sam's comes in, and what happens? Small business goes, right? Not the case. Not the case at all. And in matter of fact, my department, we definitely look for ways that we can help small business. And specifically in the showcase events, there's a lot of ways we can showcase that. So what I want to do is talk a little bit about that. I'll be happy to answer questions that I can. So definitely we'll try and hold that to the end, because a lot of times I may answer that through the presentation, but I'll definitely use some time at the end for us to do that. Throughout the year, we probably work with about 600 some small, medium-sized suppliers in putting together showcase events in our clubs. The way I would probably describe it, I'll go through some of the mechanics of it, but I would say we're kind of the jazz hands inside of Sam's Club. So you've got regular stuff that's on the shelves every day, and then the showcase events come in and go out. It's not the regular merchandise that you're going to see every day, and they're there in the clubs for a short period of time. So the strategy with showcase events is going to include adding membership value, right? So inside Sam's Club, you pay for a membership, right? So when you pay for a membership, you ought to get something beyond just walking in and what you might see every day. So what do you get for that? Additionally, what we want to do is add some excitement when you get into a club. There ought to be something that excites you when you get into there, whether it is the value that you find. We definitely want to get high quality items that are new, different out in the market. And I heard a lot of you guys talking about your business, and just from the terms and the way that you're describing your business, I definitely got a sense for the fact that there's something a little bit unique there, and that's the kinds of items that we're looking for. So things that are high quality, unique, and different out in the market. It becomes a little challenging when you've got just one more salsa or one more peanut butter, but what is there that's different about those are the kinds of things that we're looking for. So let me describe a little bit more in detail the kinds of merchandise or things that we're looking for. And some of you guys, I think, have services. And services are not outside of what we might look for. We've had a few of those that specifically came in and talked about their service. But another way that you can think about that inside of a venue like this is a gift card. Right? So you could actually have a gift card that is inside a showcase that definitely could still get a member interested in understanding what your business is about. So, new to the market. What is it about your business? So if there's a salsa or another peanut butter, and salsa is a good example because I can't tell you how many times we get somebody else with, this is the best salsa ever. Everybody loves my salsa. And sorry, I think there was somebody with some salsa. Sorry. I'm sure it's fantastic. Nobody had peanut butter, right? I'll use peanut butter. Sorry. I think it was Brian, right? No. Jim. Anyway, so that's the kind of thing. If you've got one more, how do you differentiate that? So if we're looking for something unique, there may be fantastic qualities about his where it's all natural, or it helps you lose weight, I'm sure, or something like that, right? Makes you smarter. Absolutely. Everyone would want that, right? So what is it that's new to the market? There's something very unique about that. That's the kinds of things we're looking for. High quality. Maybe it's the products that he uses inside that, or that you put into your product or service that makes it very different, and that kind of thing. I mean, after all, if you're developing a business, but there's 30,000 other businesses just like that, you're going to be challenged to try and differentiate yourself in some way. You provide a solution to things that families are looking for, those kinds of things out there as well, right? And COTC for us stands for Club of the Community. So it may be that Jim Salsa definitely, it may not be all those other things, but it represents his city, his area, geographic region, and those kinds of things, which is exactly what we want to be able to say when we're inside of an area like that. Okay? All right. So why would you even want to do that? So what, Julie? I don't care. I've got my own business. I've got my own game plan. I'm doing my own thing. Why would I want to hold a show? So a couple of different reasons, and they were talking about what is your strategy, what's your goals, those kinds of things, and some of those goals may line up where this could help you. Okay, so some of the things here is you got to think about it a little bit different. In showcase events, we don't actually buy your merchandise. It's a little bit differently, and you got to think consignment. Okay, you bring your merchandise in, you set up your display, you sell what you sell, and then you move on. You go to another club or that kind of thing, or you may decide, yep, that was good, but moving on, not for me. But that's the way that it kind of works. You get an opportunity to see what that looks like in an environment. Whoop, I hit something. There you go. Being too excited. So you get to see what that looks like. So we've provided a space for you inside an environment where you may not have had. So you get the traffic, people coming in and out. You get to get feedback immediately from customers about what that looks like, what they like, didn't like, some of those kinds of things. And if your goal maybe is to get your product inside a Sam's Club on a regular basis, I can offer you this. So Sam's Club specifically, and even Walmart for that matter, because remember we are a sister to that organization, is that when you come up to a Sam's Club or a Walmart and you say, I've got salsa that makes you absolutely so smart, and here's all that stuff about it. How many other people do you think have trod through that door and talked about their product in the same way? And they're selling it hard, and they're, excited about it and all those kinds of things. It's tough, right? That's a tough sell. And it doesn't always matter about how unique your product is and all those kinds of things. They're taking a gamble on your item, your service, whatever that is, and that's a tough sell. So what this does for you, if you think about it a little bit differently, is if you had data that showed that buyer that's going to buy those items and put it on the shelf every day, how that item performed inside Sam's Club already, how well do you think that differentiates you now? Significantly, right? That's a whole different conversation now. When you're talking to the buyer standing there, they're not having to take that much of a risk. They know exactly what that's going to look like inside a Sam's Club or a Walmart store as well. Right? Very, very different. So think about a showcase event similarly to R&D, research and development to a large degree, right? It gives you a huge edge over your competitor in walking in and trying to do that. Now, if getting your item onto a shelf in a Walmart and a club and that kind of thing isn't your goal, this still has some value for you in marketing, getting your product, your name out there in front of people so they identify your brand, your item. And again, getting feedback about, yeah, I don't really like that size that you have it packed as. I don't understand what is so unique about it. Some of those kinds of things, it will definitely help you in that way. So there's a number of different reasons why you might consider a showcase event as some way to help in your business in meeting some of those goals. So just to be clear, Sam's provides feature space. So this is not something we're going to have and put you in one of the aisles off to the edge. Okay? So you're up front and center. You're on one of those aisles. You guys are all familiar with Sam's because everybody has here, right, a Sam's membership. You would not show up to a Sam's sponsored event with no membership. We made that. Absolutely. So, you know, when you're walking through that main aisle, that's where you're going to be. You're going to be out in feature space, so people aren't going to miss you. We don't ask that you trip them over to talk to them, but you're going to be out in that feature space where you're definitely going to get some attention with the members. The day time frame is going to be a little bit different, perhaps based on your item, how that works, how members make decisions about that. Somebody makes a different quick decision about food products and salsa than they do maybe a big rug or a grand piano, things like that. They're going to think about that a little bit longer, perhaps, and they may make a couple of trips before they do that. We'll help make those decisions with you. Sales information. So we'll be able to help give you feedback about when that sold, how that sold, different price points, things like that. Excuse me. Show development support. And I think this is kind of one of those things that we get very passionate about, and it's a lot of fun. So rather than just, okay, we've okayed your product, good to go, we're going to just throw you out there and let you do it, we're really going to help kind of mentor you along about how to pull that together. I'll talk about some best practices here in a minute. What we find a lot of times is that people who are great artisans, they are very, very passionate about their product, their idea, their goals, those kinds of things, but they're really not as great a business person as they need to be. So we try and help bridge that for those people to maybe help get them on that path to their goals. Show sales feedback and coordination with inline. So we will help you. Inline is our term for the buyer that's sitting there and buying those products every day, and we'll help you with that. So again, we don't just kind of throw you out there and thanks a lot and we'll see you, but we'll help. Again, we want to help small business. It doesn't make sense for us to put those people out of business, for sure. So we'll help bridge that gap. If you've got a great product we can get you as an inline item every day, that's a win for us, right? Win for you, win for us, win for a member. Big deal. Jazz hands. Okay? So what you supply then in this environment, sorry, what you supply then in this equation, or what you do is you supply the merchandise, right? You're going to supply the shipping, so you're going to bring it in, you're going to ship it out. You're going to provide a display. And again, we'll help you design that. And don't think, oh, my Lord, I'm going to have to put together some big jazz handy display. We're going to try and put it together at a minimal cost, but we'll also try and help make sure that it really speaks to what your product is about, why they should care, some of those kinds of things. We don't want you to show up looking like a lemonade stand. The other big benefit, everybody likes to get paid quickly, especially when you've got things in the clubs and stores. When you have an item inline, it takes more like 30 and 45 days to get paid. With a showcase event, 2 weeks max. Kind of a good deal. Some of the things that are really give you some successes, the best practices here, and the way that we look at something that would be successful, right? So you got merchandise and it's selling, but when do you really say this is a success? So some of the ways that we look at that, one is we measure sales in a pallet space. Everybody knows what a pallet is and stuff that moves merchandise back and forth. I mean, I've been there a long time and I'm going, I don't know what a pallet is. So that's the way we look at it. We look at how much space you are at, and we measure that kind of against benchmarks. And so it's a little bit different by item, by category, by the things that you're actually selling, but that's the way we measure some successes. So it's a little bit different item by item, person by person, and even time. We're not going to put you in day one and go, okay, there's what a product has been out there for, 3 years, go. Doesn't work that way either. So we'll look at that. We'll look at the location that you're in, what that looks like, and then we'll set some goals for you, excuse me, to see what that looks like and get you under your way. The other thing that we look at that really has been a challenge for a lot of people and a lot of small businesses as well is you've got your product and not looking at some kind of a life cycle with that. If you have an item that doesn't get replenished very often, food is a replenishable item. People eat it, you got to eat again, right? Other products, maybe not so much. There's services, definitely replenishable items, but when you have something that someone, appliance, maybe, people buy it, they don't have to buy it again. So what does that look like, and what does that life cycle of your show start to look like with us as well? And what we found is that over time, people have a show, it gets stale, and now they're kind of stuck. So thinking about that both as just a show, but also in your business, what does that look like with people seeing it fresh and something new as well? So meeting the members' changing needs is kind of what I was going to there. That transition to inline, definitely I talked about that already as well. And then the win-win-win is really what we're looking for, is things where you win, the member is excited and wins about that, they love it, and then the Sam's Club wins as well. So best practices. We see a lot of really interesting stuff come through our door. Yeah, it's just crazy sometimes. It's so much fun, though. I mean, I don't have to just buy cereal all day long like some of those boring category buyers. I get to buy anything. It's every category under the sun, right? So it's really fun. So the big thing, though, the number one thing I would say is differentiate yourself. When you look at your business and you look at the rest of the market out there that's similar to you, why do I care? Right? And that's going to be one of the first questions you're going to get asked. And you'd be amazed that when I ask that question, sometimes they go, and I'm thinking, dear heavens, why did you even call me? If you can't even tell me why you think you're unique and different, bye-bye. My members aren't going to get it either, and I don't have the time to really get it out of you, right? So differentiate yourself. What is it that's unique about you, and why would you care? I know that sounds a little harsh, but okay. Branding yourself, okay? What about you are people going to remember? And some of you guys did a great job with your company names, which I thought was really cool. So there were several of them that I thought, just listening to you guys introducing yourself, I mean, I can remember the Dirty Dog, right? Great name. I'll remember that, okay? Sometimes, though, and there was another couple of them, the Sweet Tooth, I thought was another one. Born to Draw, I thought was another great one. The Chip Magnet Salsa, thought that was fantastic. So some of those are great. They're catchy. People are going to remember that. And it also gets you an idea of what your business is already about, right? Be careful when you're branding yourself to listen to it out loud. And hear what that might sound like to somebody else, because I've heard some company names where you go, really? Did you say that out loud? So Spreadums. Really? You answer the phone every day. Spreadums, can I help you? Wow. Lord help me, I hope there's nobody in here that either from Spreadums or knows somebody from Spreadums. And yes, it was a dip, just to be clear. Not a surface. Okay. There's just things like that people haven't thought through, and we'll definitely give you feedback on things like that. It was a great product, but ultimately I just said, I'm sorry, I can't do it. So think about how you brand yourself.